I thought I was waiting for the time to come, but I am apparently late. Just sitting here staring like I guess I'll start in a few minutes when it's time. Thanks for waiting. How's it going? Does audio sound okay? Everything all right? Yeah, I'm back here in the main room of my studio, which is oddly actually kind of easier to set up than the one that's always connected. Um, so yeah, today we have this thing. Let's see if I could. There we go. Um, the OPXY from Teenage Engineering. I was a little bit undecided on if I wanted to stream this. I did pay for it, not full price, but also not through like any sort of influencer thing. I paid for it because the reason I got it is basically like there are some functions on it, it seems. I'm not totally sure yet, but there are some functions on it, and I do consulting for some other companies that are making synthesizers, and so it was like one of those things where it could be a frame of reference. Anyway, I was a little bit conflicted about doing a stream with it because Bad Gear, we're familiar with his channel. Apparently, he got copyright striked by Teenage Engineering because he didn't review their product favorably, or he made them angry in some way, and they ended up apparently. I don't remember the actual details, and I don't want to, make a whole stink out of it. But apparently, yeah, they took his video down, or he had to edit something out for it to stay up. So like, I guess I might as well just start with that. I mean, it's worth saying, even if Teenage Engineering ends up watching this, I assume they're not because this streaming channel's a lot smaller than my main one. But that's very illegal. First of all, to just not like something and to copyright strike it. That's if that was the case, that's like a huge no-no. It's actually a criminal offense that's punishable by felony perjury. Uh, Not only that, but more important, since I realize that Teenage Engineering isn't a U.S. company, and that's not the type of crime that would get extradited, uh, nor would it be something I'd call the police over. However, if someone did that to me, I would immediately call my lawyer. And I think that any YouTuber who like has an extra $500 for a legal consultation, if that happens to them, they should go to a lawyer because that is an actionable offense. That's like a malicious, yeah, I mean, that's like you are putting it in writing and signing it. You're putting a lie in writing and signing it to harm someone's business. So I have no idea if I'm going to find this a favorable product, if I'm going to like it or hate it. But if I get copyright striked because I didn't like it, I mean, go right ahead, fuck around and find out. But I mean, that's all I got to say. Like, I'd be more than happy to make a big stink on social media and get extra clicks for something that stupid. So anyway, but on the other hand, I don't know the details of that, but on the other hand, their products are pretty cool. Not all of them resonate with me. I do remember the OP1 Field. I kind of liked that. The thing I really didn't like about it was the lack of undo and the tape recording function. Some people like that. Some people argue that it's part of the whole experience. For me, it made me feel like I didn't want to push the boundaries too much because there was no way to go back. Like everything was very, very permanent, which I don't know. Like for me, it just made me, unfortunately, it just made me write kind of boring music that I don't think I ever listened to after that little trip. On the other hand, it was quite possibly the best portable music making device in terms of size, form factor, battery life, convenience. It's hard for me to think of anything better. This one kind of scratches some of those itches that the OP1 Field did. So here we are. All right, looking at the chat first. Yeah. So, but the dispute was over the use of their samples. I do remember that. Now that I remember it being like part of their sampling policy. Man, this is a very, very clear example of fair use. Like, you no court in the world would side with them on that for an actual copyright strike, because the thing is Teenage Engineering or whatever company wanted to do that, no matter how draconian their sample policies are, they in that it would eventually come down, like if it were an actual court case, they would have to prove that I damaged them somehow by showing the samples, or that I damaged whoever made the samples, or that I caused some sort of damage in their intellectual property, whereas I could very clearly show damages. Like, this took my time, this made my video come down, which, was part of my channel, part of my Patreon. It has ads on it once it stays on. And so, again, fuck around and find out. Like, to me, that is just a no-brainer legislative. Like, I think, like, in terms of like actionable things that you could do to a YouTube channel, I think that is easily one of the stupidest things you could do as an angry company under any circumstances. I mean, I get cease and desists every now and then. I get lawsuit threats on my main channel because I poke a lot of hornets' nests, but I always do so with an attorney. I mean, that's happening right now. The reason I'm waiting on my next video is an attorney's looking over it and saying, you might want to reword this a little bit just in case the company wants to claim that you're defaming them. And it's just like, hearing aid companies and shit like that probably won't even see my content. But no, I mean, that's Miss Crystal is a great example of this, a great example of creators who, if you bother her to do a video on what your rights are and what you can do if you get copyright, she'll absolutely do one. And I mean, she runs her own firm. She's I've been there. I've sat in her office. It was very lawyery. Okay. Yeah, I heard about that table. Hey, Mikey. Yeah, I know Mikey is a fan of portable things. I know you have the mixer, right? Like Mikey 303, I remember I was like I was shit posting about the mixer. I thought it was Lima because it was just like what, $1,500 tiny little mixer that had like barely any features. And then Mikey said that he bought it, and it made sense. Like, the mixer made sense. Cuckoo as well, I believe. He told me that he bought it. And it's like, oh, like I understand a little bit more about how they make music. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. Like, I don't even need to hear your argument for why you bought it. Like, I get it totally now because I'm a maximalist and you like portable things a lot more than I do typically. But let's go. Okay, so here is one thing that I did. Just to make this a little bit more tolerable for people, or intolerable, depending. I just put the manual here because that's what we're going to be looking at. Or that's what I'm going to be looking at. So rather than me just staring into space, although I really want to just try and make something off right off the cuff without any sort of manual. But I have a feeling like, clearing tracks and specific things are probably going to be a little problematic. So I figured out this much yet. This is more of like a UI review. Yeah, I figured out that these are drum samples. There you go. And then these are channels. So we have two different drum. Doesn't sound half bad. That's very Detroit. Some sort of FM there, I think. Can we see the screen okay? Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be playing my best keyboard performances. Oh, yeah, there's pitch bend down here. Oh. We're only going to be making Egyptian music. I love the hair dryer. Not entirely sure what this is. Like what kind of... I mean, that's a good thing though, right? If you don't know what a synth is. And then... pad, I guess? Yeah, iPads are a great alternative. I agree. I've like the only reason I don't have an iPad, or I mean I have an iPad, I have an iPad Pro. The only reason I don't use it is because I just cannot take Apple's ecosystem. I just can't do it. Like I can't move files off of it unless I have iCloud, and I can't do it anymore. And I'm busy, so it's like, all right. Also, like, I feel like if I were to go to a beach or something, this would be a nice thing to have. So, get sand in a nice expensive thing. So I assume this is a sampler. I'm not really sure what this is. I'm gonna make these really tiny, though. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I really can't believe that Android hasn't I don't know. Well, it makes sense. I'm not gonna get in this. There's reasons why Android's audio is underwhelming, but okay. And these are just. Oh, you know what? Maybe we could actually. Maybe this will give us different. Yeah, here we go. Finally. What is happening? I guess that's an LFO. Okay. And then this one. I see. So you could change it. Maybe. Just the envelope. All right. I will get used to this. And then filter. Oh, cool. There's a sends. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is just a step sequencer. And then I could probably make... Yeah. I do wonder what the parameter locking is like. Let's find out. So... So, and then this one with a high resonance. Nice. Okay, and then if I want to put some drums. Okay. I'm assuming we can turn this metronome off, or lower it at least. That'll be our swing. There we go. A little montage mini. Oh my god. Ugh, that would be something, wouldn't it? I feel like the montage is already too small and it's massive, but let's try and make an acid line. All right, let's try and figure out how to clear a pattern. That's one of the things where I'm just going to read the damn manual. I'm going to read the manual. Let's look. Let's see. I know that the chat's covering this, but deal with it. Recording a bass line. Modules. Linking tracks. Okay. Sequencer. Select note, check note, extend note, nudge step, clear. Okay. So does that clear the whole thing or only the channel? Ooh. Okay, you do have undo by hitting shift record. That's good. I didn't even expect that. All right, let's just clear it then. Okay, I'm scared. Ooh, I don't know what happened there. This will make sense in a minute. Or not, I don't know. Okay. Play with this filter. There we go. kind of Detroit sounding. I'd like to make my filter envelope a little bit shorter. And then this will tell us yeah, I'm still not totally clear on what's happening here. Hey, be quiet. Shh. Thank you. All right. She just wanted to be part of the song. What are you looking at? Dogs have some imaginations. Okay, so I obviously want this to go further than this one bar, so maybe will this do it? No. You tell him, Cora. No. Length. Yeah, I'm getting swatted. No, literally nothing. If I swear to God, if there was, I love how I have this manual up. I'm so sorry. One day I'll get used to this fucking streaming thing. Yeah, if there was literally like a person wearing all black and a ski mask doing this outside, she'd just be like, I don't care. But nothing, and that is worth a bark for sure. Yeah, I'm trash talking you. All right, we need to figure out how to make the track scale longer. No. There's going to be, oh wait, no. No. Oh wait, track scale 3. Okay, let's try this first. So, I don't know if chords work this way, but we're about to find out if they do. I'm going to hit no, okay. Okay, they do. All right, that's good to know. So far this is pretty intuitive, eh? Okay, so yeah, we have 3. The battery apparently lasts 16 hours. Oh, right here we did that. Okay. Now let's try it. Am I counting these right? 8? 16. All right. All right, let's make it a little bit more dynamic then. How many voices can be played at once? Not enough keys. That'll do. Whatever, it'll make me play a chord I normally wouldn't. Nope, I would not play that one. Then oh, I don't have to hold everything down. That's good to know. So now there's a mixer, I see. Got it. Interesting design there. Oh, wow. I don't know what I'm mixing. I guess that's effects. It's auxiliary. Okay. Nope. Let's figure it out. This is pan. There we go. It's kind of an interesting choice to have volume be the last knob. Alright, let's play with the synth sound a bit. Is this just the... I see. There's a swarm. Amplitude modulation. Kind of an FM. Well, I'll turn it on. Oh, that's our filter, okay. Okay, and then this is the modulation for amplitude. The modulation for the amplitude modulation, or swarm, or whatever I want it to be. Oh, wow. How was... yeah, interesting. Apparently the microphone can be a modulator. That is interesting to me. Destination. can't. Unfortunately, I can't really. Oh, cut off. There we go. Whoa, there it is. Okay, I like that. Test. That I don't know if it's going to be that powerful, but that would be pretty amazing if you could then use that to make like imagine if you could like record that, record the modulation from the microphone, and then make like a physical modeling type of synth or something. That'd be pretty. Okay. Speaking of recording modulation. Let's make this more pronounced. Test. I don't think it's going to work, but it's worth a try. Okay, we'll try and record. Maybe if we hold down record. Oh, I see. Okay. Kind of a punch in. So let's try it. Nope. There might be a way to do it that I'm just not realizing. But maybe we could, but I mean, let's see if we could live record knobs just for the hell of it. We'll probably delete this, but. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Create like a little accidental acid thing. Let's figure out how to mute channels. Hey, hear that rain? I really should have hooked up the ambisonic microphone outside. Missed a golden opportunity there. We could have heard dog barking from whatever direction we wanted. Did that bounce? That's an interesting effect. Okay. Yeah, the rain here is it pours rain like every day just because it's subtropical. But the front of the studio, and I initially was like kind of panicking about this because I was like, oh, this is gonna suck so bad when I'm trying to record. But I kind of got over it. The front of the studio is a massive like tin awning. And so the rain just sounds gorgeous coming off of it. It's like one of my favorite things about living here is like you hear the most organic storms. And usually they don't last long. Usually like in the summer, anybody who's lived in the South lives this far down south, they come usually like in the afternoon, in the middle of the day. In and out, done. 15-minute thunderstorm. What's up with my finger? Well, There it is. I don't know. I don't know what it was bleeding this morning from something. But another thing about living here, when you live on a farm, there's always something bleeding. Kind of just part of the thing. It's like you always brush up against a nail. This could be from my rooster, maybe, because roosters have these sort of I forgot what they're called. They're like they're almost like little spikes on the back of their legs that are really sharp. Some of them are really sharp, and I am training a rooster. So, like, basically, training a rooster is every day. You just kind of have to catch them and bully them. You have to hold them down and flick them in the back of the head. It sounds really cruel, but like that's the only way you could have a rooster that doesn't attack you every single time you try to tend to your chickens or go into the yard. And so far, this rooster is very cool. Like pretty chill, quieter than my noisy hens. My hens bitching are the loudest part about the chickens. All right, so yeah, I mean, this is a boring ass track, but I'm not upset about this. I actually kind of dig everything so far. I guess let's make a new project. New. Okay, yeah, and that kind of resets everything. That's fine. I kind of want to like browse drum kits. Does that work the same? I know that in other. There we go. I want to get inspired by presets. Ooh, dig it. These are good samples. Ooh, some like drum and bassy. Yeah, although I can't really finger drum on this that well. Good to know. There you go. So for some interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna make some jazz. Okay. Yeah, so I mean things like that are cool. Like I'll probably enjoy that. And then since there's 2 drum tracks, I assume that they're yeah, okay, so they both pull from the same kits. Makes me wonder how to make a kit. I guess we could find out now if there's any sort of play on that. Let's load one of these. Oh, and you, of course, it seems like you can load kind of any. There's a Euro feature. I mean, I just ate, so I don't know if I want it, but was it just like print out a piece of Euro meat out the top, like a little receipt? Just, I'm so hilarious. So I guess this cuts. Oh, okay, cool. So if you want to like, this is your filter, ladder filter. That's fine. I think growing up in Chicago, I think I just sort of came to conclusions that like, if I'm gonna eat like kofta, I like lamb, but like kofta and lamb and beef. But Euro, I feel like I'm so used to it. When I do have a lamb Euro, I'm like, too rich for my blood. This is the sampler. Okay. So these are our little. Maybe let's go to. That's our arpeggiator, arpeggio. They call it something dumb. It's called something like a twiddle dance or some bullshit. I remember seeing that in the manual and being like, can't we just call it a fucking arpeggio? Okay. So... Ooh. It did nothing. Ooh. Maybe this needs to be lower. Ooh. Turn the gain up, I think. Is that what's happening right now? Nope, I don't know what that does. There's a line. Okay. Whoa, you could sample out of the headphones? Can you? So it's... No. Okay. Maybe that's just the gain that you hear when you're sampling or something. Yeah, I should be able to hear something out of here, right? Huh. Oh, you gotta press this to sample. That, if that is the case, that's gonna be so lame. That's gonna be a really dumb oversight to have this be the button, and that... Let's hope that's not the case, because that is kind of a UI nightmare. Ooh, God damn it, that is so dumb. Ugh, please fix that in a firmware update. That is just... That's sad. Okay, so these are all... So if we wanted to, like, sample a whole kit of something, I don't know. I guess we have two different... That's pretty creepy. Okay, I'd like to add some effects to this, please. How would we go about that, since I see effects here? Maybe shift? No? I don't want to read that manual. Okay, I'm not going to load up the manual again just for this, because, I mean, I have the manual, but I'm not going to risk forgetting about it and leaving it on the screen like a jackass again. Track buttons. I know there's punch-in effects, but I just want effects, you know. I will go to the index. Okay, maybe I will load it. I will absolutely not forget that it's loaded and leave it over the screen. FX1 and FX2. Okay. Okay, I also know that this has effects. An interesting thing here that I forgot to mention. This has effects send and receive, so you could send this to a pedal and then back in. So you say hit the auxiliary jack. No. Well, here, I'll just look at the thing. Oh, so it only works within the auxiliary tracks. Okay, found it. How do we go back to our normal? So this is delay. Sorry, I know the. Sorry, I know. I'm still looking at it, just seeing if there's anything I'm missing here. Routing. Okay, that might be a weird. And then M4 is where you can find the LFO. All right, let's try and find the LFO. The fuck is that? No clue. All right. These must be the punch-in effects. Your guess is as good as mine. Okay. So, what else? Yeah, I don't know how to mix the effects in. I guess you have to use this mixer. Okay, and this would be the reverb. Yeah, they're not big labeling fans, are they? I guess I kind of want to hear drums with this engine. Or with the reverb engine, that is. I guess this will work. Actually, let's load up a preset here. Nope. There we go. Okay, that'll be fun to... I've not seen the synth engine yet. Okay. So. I'm never going to get used to that. There we go. Yeah, this is going to take some getting used to. So if I want to look at the reverb, I click that. And this? No, that just selects it. Okay. It's way better than the OP1's reverb. By many, many degrees. I don't know where it went. Me saying ooh. But I like the reverb. Lo-fi. What does that do? That's what I figured. I was wondering if it had some sort of like... I was wondering if it would be like a tape lo-fi. That would have been cool. Distortion, chorus, and then this is the same selection, right? Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, let's look at delay really fast. It says delay, but I feel like I'm looking at the reverbs. Yeah. No, that was an interesting bug. So what does size do then? Because there's size and time. Maybe it's a divisor? Okay. I do want to play with that sampler some more. So There we go. Ooh-wee. Yeah, I'm not totally... I see, so we could like clear these. That makes sense. I want to load a preset to hear another sample before I get further into this. Wait, we don't have that, do we? Maybe not. Yeah, Electron stuff's really expensive as well lately. I am interested, or it is interesting that like this, since this is sort of being mentioned in the chat, it is interesting that this all of a sudden is kind of a reasonable price in comparison to everything else with tariffs, especially. Like the newer prices of things that that are being proposed, it's not a fun time. Like everything's going to go up. But yeah, it is kind of funny that now all of a sudden this is like within the realm of being reasonable. That being said, like the Polyend synth is a great value, but it's not going to do as much as this does, obviously. Where's my synth? It should be around here somewhere. I wonder which one. It's like I almost want to hold both of them and at least theorize what would happen if I dropped them. Because this is metal, but at the same time I feel like metal sometimes isn't the best thing to drop either. Like the weight of it might... Anyway, I want to find out what's going on with these pads. Or samples, rather. Oh, so this is a synth. Got it. Yeah, I may have to read. I feel like if I read about the samples now, I would not really... It would be the worst stream ever. But that is something I need to, like, explore a little bit. And then we have this pluck engine. Okay, this is a sampler. So I guess that's all the sample keys. Okay. Yeah, that's going to take some time to understand. Not even sure what's happening. All right, let's make a... Do any of the OPXY engines respond to aftertouch or MPE? Not aftertouch on the synth. I don't know about MPE. Although this one does have CV out, which is pretty interesting. Although I think it's just like one port. I don't know what you could really do with it. But yeah, the idea, that was another reason that I kind of thought about this as like an interesting option, just to be able to like put it in front of a modular and MIDI to CV thing and get 8 channels. Yeah, I don't know what the accelerometer does. I do not get it. I mean, I assume it's in here somewhere. Can we get audio rate? The answer is no. I do feel like there was a menu that I saw once that had some more modulation. Oh yeah, and then we have random here, which I still want to play with that. I need something that's a little bit more. That's our effects. That's our mixer. It's nice to hear that other people like it. Whenever Teenage Engineering releases anything, it's always just like a hate train of people who are mad about the price. Or whenever Polyand releases anything, there's like a hate train of people who are mad about the quality, or they're like yelling about bugs that haven't been fixed in the last one. And then when you actually look at bug reports, I don't know if I still have access. I had access to bug reports for some time, and just because I was like submitting them before a product came out, probably for like the Play or something. But then afterwards, I'd look at the bug reports from the public, and I'd be able to like see some of the ones that people were complaining about, and it was like a lot of them weren't bugs. A lot of them were just like, I have a bug report. It doesn't have a spring reverb. It's like, that's not a bug. That's just not something. But yeah, you get that the reliability thing. It's interesting how different brands have different things that everybody complains about that aren't necessarily rooted in reality. And with like Teenage Engineering, it's that everything is absurdly expensive because it's a designer company and not made for real musicians or whatever. When like 30% of the things that they make are absurdly cheap, and you could get them on Amazon. They're like the most accessible, they're like cheaper than a lot of Behringer things. And it seems like they just split it into those two classes. And whatever, I mean, I'm not sure I'm aligned with the business model, and it seems to be very VC backed, but it is what it is. And then like on the Polyand side, like everybody complains about their gear being really unreliable, and their return rate, like companies have return rates on products, so they could judge how reliable they are and how well the hardware works. Should we use this chipset again because we have a return rate that's higher than, blah, blah, The return rate on Polyen's products are actually significantly lower than like Yamaha or Korg, which is, so it's like, or in terms of, sorry, the RMA rate, it's lower than, it's lower than like some bigger companies. So it's just kind of funny because it's like, what drove it in that direction? Maybe it's like something, maybe it's one of their first things that they released, and then it just kind of started the rumor. Yeah, it really seemed the KO things, those little ones. I mean, I'm happy that they're affordable, but I think if you like left me on a desert island with one, I would probably just like play with the sand or something, like that level of menu diving. Same thing with those Sonic, what are they called? Those really cheap boxes, Groove Box synthesizer. They make a lo-fi one. I have the granular one. That's the only one that I like. But yeah, those are like, the amount of memorization and shit is so bad. Sonicware, yeah. Like some people love Sonicware stuff, and I've never been able to make anything decent on any of them. Which sucks, because I would really like to love them because they're so affordable. And anytime a new one comes out, I'm always so stoked. I'm always like, oh, that looks awesome. And then I end up playing with one and I'm like, never mind. But whatever, that's just me. That doesn't mean it's a bad product. Like, you know, I'm sure a lot of people love them. All right, let's hear arpeggiator. I guess this is hold. Okay, so if I were to make this divider, huh? Never mind. Didn't we figure out that we could... I see 4. Okay. So if I were to hold this down, and then will that work? Yeah, it does. Okay, so again, we want to make this bar longer on this. How high can we go, I wonder? Whoa, we could go up to 8. We could go up to 16. Jesus. Well, that's good news. Let's record then. Are these... Okay. Now that's a good... How to make this... I wonder if there is a... Oh, goody. We found it. I think. Oh, wow, we could change our tuning. What? That's great. Although I don't know how to go down that. So I guess by hitting... There we go. Oh, guitar. And then our pitch bend target. Okay, great. Although that didn't answer the question I wanted it to answer. Which is... Well, maybe it'll be here. I wanted to figure out how to make this a mono synth. Maybe there's another setting if I hit this again? No? Okay. Oh wow, we could change the engine this way. Change our filter. Change our LFO. Well, that still doesn't tell us how. Go to M2 shift. I don't know what M2 means. I'm just going to hit a lot of 2s. No. Mode 2. Oh. So this? Oh, wow. Yeah, thank you. But that's not something I would have figured out ever. Until I accidentally did it. I see, okay. And then this will be our... I wish you could do like half a semi. always forget where the keys are. Alright, let's try doing this. Nah. Okay, now we should have some polyrhythm. Oh wow, you could actually... I did not even realize that you could see the patterns. That's handy. To make that a really big pattern. We need to make it a bigger pattern. We'll figure it out. Oh, it waits for your key. That's interesting. That's smart. What shift? Okay, so nothing. That. Sending. And that's our filter. Huh. Let me try one I'm a little more familiar with. Okay. So 1, nothing. 2, 3. I assume that's just okay, just the send. That's the record send. Okay, these are just all sends. I don't know what the sends do just yet. And this is the LFO, which I still kind of want to make, I guess I want to try to make some sort of a playful dubby sound or something. Like I want to use the LFO more creatively. That would be nice. Oh, and we have all our synth engines, which we haven't really gone through yet, have we? How do we do that? Engine, there we go. Okay. So axis. Okay. Dissolve. Okay, we've already seen that. Swarm. Let's turn the filter. Oh, there is no filter. Okay. Swarm, amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, which sounds a lot like filter to me, so maybe it means filter modulation, and then detune. Okay. Next up, we have drum, which we've already seen, electric piano. I mean, not the best electric piano, obviously, but I'll take any electric piano. Probably be helpful if it wasn't monaural. Okay. External, which I guess sends MIDI out, or I'm assuming that's probably it. Well, I don't know, maybe there's more. Yeah, I don't know. We'll do that when we have something hooked up to it. Hard sync. That's that one. This one, is slowly but surely brightening up to me. I at first I thought this one was the dumbest, but now I feel a little differently. Right, and then element. Okay, I assume pitch. Okay, so this is the gyroscope. So that makes me wonder if I could, not that there's any real function to doing this, but makes me wonder if I could. Nope. So I guess if it were just playing. All right. That's weird. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Probably cost $1 to put that feature in there. Probably cost $1 to put that feature in there. It's not really that sensitive. Yeah, I don't know what that is a sum of. Okay, so our other option here is a value, which I assume is just a normal LFO. So this is a synchronized. Let's put on a 16th. So it says 5. Oh, interesting. See, this is what I was thinking earlier. If this could be somehow, if it could be recorded, and you were to record a value from like the microphone and hook it up to the noise. You'd sort of be able to like, I mean, this is like a terrible, terrible example because we have so you get this sort of like a, yeah, all of a sudden you'd have this nice flute. Does it have resampling though? I assume it does, yeah. I think it does. I just have no idea how to get there. What does random do? What if I'm recording and I hit random? Nothing. Ooh, I saw something. There we go. I guess if you just keep mashing things, you'll eventually get... So, try and randomize everything here. How'd I do that? There we go. So if I wanted to randomize all of these, I have no idea what's happening. Although I do need to turn a filter on or I'm going to die. Okay. That's really weird and interesting. Let's shift here. This is a ramp up 5 steps, 1 octave. What? I guess it doesn't keep randomizing it, it just does it once or something, and then you could save it. This really opens up a lot, to be honest. So can you edit these? To do that on all of them, please. Do I ever use groove boxes in any of my professional music production? I've used, oddly enough, I feel like I've used the tracker, but Always. And it's funny because I'd like export tracks and be like, okay, I'm going to change a few of these things, and I always end up changing it all. But it's almost like, so it just operates as like an idea box or something, which is totally fine, because those are ideas that I wouldn't have made in a DAW. In the new album, I would say the piece of outboard gear that I use the most would probably be the Poly Brute 12. Um, just because it's so performative. Like, just because I did, like, I almost, yeah, with a lot of songs that I wrote in the last year, I would like record a synth part or a lead part, and it was just so accessible and modulatable live. That's like all I cared about. So it was like, oh, okay, well, I'll put a synth, well, maybe I'll just make a quick synth here, and I'll do that. And then that sort of becomes like the the most notable thing about the song, because that it's the most performative, so therefore I'm putting the most work into it. I would say that the synth machines in this are much better. The effects engines too. Yeah, I would put them far above the OP1. The OP1, I mean, they were cool, they were different, but or the OP1 field, that I honestly haven't played that much with an OP1, but an OP1 field I have. Yeah, I would put this higher by quite a wide margin. Especially the effects. And I mean, a good reverb goes such a long way. It really can like make, yeah. So this is a good reverb. It's just a reverb. There is no like, lamb eating a fucking popsicle or whatever was on the last. There's always like some weird animation. Not that, whatever. It's fun, but that one was just like, come on, I just need a good reverb. Whatever thing was going on there. I don't remember what it was. It was like a fence opening up and a car hitting a child coming out of it or something like that. Some sort of trauma thing. Yeah, I would say that the synth sound much better though. I do kind of wish that, like, I would really like to have like poly and synths engines in here. Or maybe even like some mutable ones or something. Like, it is a little weird being just, not weird, but it's like you're in somebody else's ecosystem entirely. It's almost like if I could have the weird sequencer, whatever, I don't really understand what's happening in this patch, for example. Like, I'm not really getting it. But I feel like if I had some form of like subtractive synthesizer that made sense in the way it makes sense to anybody who has any synthesizer, I might be able to like feel more comfortable or something, like there's like one compass, like, okay, I got my sound down, but now I got to figure this out. But and this sounds like a really weird critique. It's not a critique, but it sounds like one. But this is what UI design is. Like, this is like, it has to be like really abstract, like, which I think that like, I would give this, as far as UI design, I would give it a B on the scorecard, which is pretty good. I mean, I think that most groove boxes of any type get a C or below. They're all pretty bad. But I think like this was infuriating. Like, because I kept pressing this, and it's like you couldn't, out of all the creative little designs that you have on this thing, you couldn't figure out something else to put other than the button that's right there, like, a fucking race flag, or something to indicate go, green light, red light. But yeah. I know that there is also, I briefly watched Ricky Tinez's video on this, and sort of looking for like, should I get that? And you always want to like, I noticed this with astrophotography, which like I still am getting nowhere with because it's been cloudy every single night for the last fucking year. But one thing that I noticed every now and then with so like I'll go back to astrophotography. With astrophotography, I noticed that like I constantly would watch a YouTuber explain something to me, how it works. I'd be completely lost. I'd find YouTubers that just did a terrible job at explaining things. Ones that like you could tell they were just selling something or they were just doing paid promotion. And then I had a few that I trusted, that I started to trust. And one of them I ended up hiring for a video that who knows if it's ever going to be a video, but I actually flew one out to like help me. But yeah, and I ended up just watching these videos and thinking to myself, I'd get frustrated because I'd be like, just tell me what to buy. Like literally that was my thought. Like just tell me what to buy so I could get this damn thing over with and just get it here and start working on it. You know, and I obviously like tried to like be a little bit more objective in my decision making, but then I thought to myself like, oh my God, this is audio YouTube. This is what it's like to be on that other side where you want your first synthesizer or like, you know what I mean? Like you're new to audio and you want to make music. You want to make electronic music. You want a synthesizer and a mixer and a pedal, you know, and a sequencer, and you have no fucking idea where to start. And so you watch a channel like Ricky Tinez or something, and you just go, just tell me what to fucking buy. You just want that, like, tell me something's amazing. And so like that really made me feel some feelings, just because if you look at my Gmail inbox, it's just people telling me to tell you to buy something. Like it's absurd. It's like 20 plus emails a day at this point. And I don't respond to any of them, barely ever, unless it's like something really cool, like a crazy industrial acoustic camera. And then I propose something to them and they say no. But yeah, it just makes me realize like how bad it is, I guess, when you think about consumerism and YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah. Co-workers really into hobby telescope stuff. Yeah. Man, the astrophotography thing, I mean, I don't want to make a negative video. And so I've just been waiting and waiting. And I have a lot of shit and I've learned a lot of stuff and I'm still just have my feet barely in there. And I mean, I've gotten some amazing images so far. And I haven't even gotten that into processing them, like just like the raw stacks. But it was a fucking expensive failure. Like it really was. And it was one that could have been prevented by like retailers, just ones that only sell astronomy things. That should have been, you know, like I didn't order it on Amazon. I didn't order it somewhere. I ordered it there thinking that they would say, you know, if there was a problem, like, hey, this lens you're buying is way too heavy for this. I don't want to use like the terms, just because you'll end up where I was a year ago where I didn't understand what anything meant. Yeah, your lens is way too heavy for this mount that tracks the rotation of the Earth. Like you have to have it lighter than 3 kilograms. And yeah, and so I ended up with like a lot of things that ended up getting sent back. And I even have things to sell just because they don't work with other things that I thought they would have. I approached a couple, like, or I guess I got introduced to a couple companies, or one company, ZWO. I emailed them. They're like kind of the Apple of astrophotography. I emailed them about a issue I had with like tariffs. I got a huge tariff bill from ordering something directly from them because they're in China. And they like wrote back literally being like, hey, we looked at you. We noticed you have a YouTube channel and you have an impressive amount of followers. We'd like to send you this list of things. And it was literally like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of gear. And at first I was like, yeah. And then I was like, no, like, that's not what I want to do. Like, that's not, like, the whole point of my video is to make it accessible, and that's the opposite of accessible. But, uh, yeah, my mom is into astrophotography now. I got her into it. I bought her a ZWO. I bought her a ZWO C-Star S50, which I think is like, it's like every 5 years there's a product that comes out that's like fucking amazing. Like, it blows your mind. Like DJI drones is one of them, where you're just like, I can't believe for $500 there's this drone that connects to 20 different GPS satellites and stabilizes and automatically avoids trees and automatically lands and knows where it's coming from and like records 4K 60 frames per second, like film quality video that looks beautiful, that has HDR color. Like, just, I can't believe that this is all in this one package. Or Oculus, like Oculus Quest, like the most recent Quest. Just like, holy shit! Like, the whole computer's inside this helmet, and I'm in this immersive place. It's crazy, whether you like it or not. It's like, this could be $20,000 and it would make sense. And I feel like that the most recent one of those, like the first one in the last like 4 years, is the C-Star S50 from ZWO. It's literally a box. I gave it to my mom for her birthday, and we booted it up together. I told her to install the app. She was imaging deep space, like within what? She's in the chat. How long was it? Like, within an hour, you had a stack. Like, you had a deep space imaging stack where you were literally looking at a nebula, millions of light years away, and exploring it. And yeah, so now, like, anybody who has kids, I'm just like, dude, get one of those. Like, absolutely get it. Like, even if you live in a city, it has a filter built into it. It has a nebula filter built into it for light pollution. Yeah, so I mean, and me doing all of this manually, it's funny because I was just like out there. My mom lives like kind of in a rural place, and I was out there with her, and I mean, she just had like her third stack, and I didn't even get shit in focus yet, and I'm just like trying to like line up Polaris to properly track the Earth's rotation, and this thing's just doing it automatically the moment you turn it on. Oh yeah, she started with the Owl Galaxy, which is a tiny, faraway galaxy, but it looked cool there. But yeah, I'll be disappointed if you don't grind your own lens. Yeah, I'm going to head to the beach and get some sand and mix it with coal in the stove and turn it into some glass. I think that's how it works. The old Minecraft stove. Yeah, stacking software I have. Why can I not remember the name? The one that's made by like that has the archaic licensing, and I forgot the name, but I haven't even used it that much. But that one was so highly recommended to me. And like I said, I like paid somebody to help, and they were like very, very helpful with like finding ways where I could cut costs and things that weren't needed. But that software was like, yeah, you have to. I mean, it's the only thing like it. It's made just for that, and it's the best. Yeah, but whatever. I don't even know if it's going to be a video at this point. It's been taking so long. I think I'm getting to the point where I was just telling some people this week where it was like it might get to the point where I just have to drive to New Mexico, where I just have to drive somewhere that's like 8,000 feet up with clear skies and spend 3 days there, because this shit ain't working here. Like, I cannot get the combination of no moon, no clouds. It's like it just can't happen. What happened to that podcast I was a co-host on? No, it's not a thing anymore. I did a couple trial episodes, and I was going to take over in exchange for some equity in the overall project, because I liked the idea of it. Like, I liked the framework, but it was like, obviously it couldn't continue existing with Destiny. and have the same the same level of like, the whole point was to like have conversations with interesting people who may not agree with you and not fight with them, and just educate your viewers, and find some sort of objectivity in there. And Destiny's not known for that, but he did a good job in the episodes that were filmed. But after having a giant scandal like he had, that can't really work anymore, simply because who wants to be on that show? Like if he's on it, then it's kind of like, now it's like this poison thing. I think that it kind of stayed a little bit, for me, the reason why I decided not to do it, I think it stayed a little bit too in that world of streaming arguers. I thought it was, I figured that it was going to be a little bit different than that. It kind of stayed too far in there. I thought, like, I could have put more effort myself into getting guests on, but I wanted to have people like Wonder Boy, Stephen Thompson, UFC fighter, and like karate teacher at the same time. He literally teaches like hundreds of children students while being a UFC title contender. People like that, who's coming in town. I'm going to UFC in a few days. He's coming to town in a few days. But yeah, and it just kind of... And then right after we did this episode, Kyla went to Israel and did some content there. I don't know who she interviewed or whatever, but I kind of just made, if anything to do with the podcast business is in Israel, then, that hotel, Airbnb, whatever it was, that ended up paying taxes, that ended up going to, or the flight even, paid taxes that went to fund a war, which is over the line for me. I just, it's not a thing where I'm like shaming or being, shaking my finger at anybody. That's just like one of the things where I went, like, if, I live in America, so clearly my tax dollars are already paying for enough blood and warfare. So I feel like I don't, but at the moment, I don't want to do anything that's an active conflict. So, yeah. The farm's going good. It's a lot of work, too much, but too much when I'm trying to finish a video. Unrelated, saw some of our researchers and been expanding with the optical microphone research. Can pull out individual instruments in an orchestra now, far from the laser reading a potato bag. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, they're getting really impressive. Speaking of active war zones and stuff, the stuff going on in Ukraine is also really interesting with like acoustic drone stuff. Yeah, there lots happening in audio right now, and it has been for a while. At one time, like 5 years ago, Meta was probably the most innovative audio lab in the world for quite some time. I think just because all of the stuff they were putting into, or just all of the money that they were spending on horizons and Horizon, whatever, Meta Horizon, and all that stuff, the metaverse. And so, they're just trying to make audio more immersive and make it more immersive for something that, could just be essentially a speaker shooting at your ear. Yeah, I mean, and I had a job offer a few years ago that was like ridiculous. I would have had to move out to Washington, but it was like a job offer that was like utterly ridiculous. Like the money was almost like, how could I not? But it was one of those things where I was just like, it was in tech. So it was like, first of all, if you work for Meta, especially then when they were still kind of like completely under after the Cambridge Analytica thing, it was like, first of all, if you work for Meta, you can never go back to YouTube or anything. Like you've kind of burned your reputation. And then also, like I would just get fired in 6 months when they moved on to something else, which they ended up doing, as they always do. So, but I do think that it probably still made the money because now, I think Apple had to license some of their patents. I think anybody doing, like, I think they've patented a lot of things fairly. I mean, they put over $1 billion into audio alone. So that's like, nobody else is doing it. So you might as well word it, but yeah, it's a good hedge for the future. Anyway, I guess that's the stream. I guess, well, karma points. Yeah, karma points are, it's not so much karma points as it is reputability, I guess, in general. Like, being consistent. Like, with a lot of the things that I criticize on my channel, and then if I went and just worked for Meta and gave it all, that's like a little, that would probably be a little asinine. But, if I had to, I would. But I didn't have to, so I didn't. But then there's like a lot of YouTubers like Ricky Tinez. He works for Apple now. And that's like, hell yeah. It's like you got out. You were in GearTube and now you got out. You don't have to grind anymore. I mean, now he's grinding on something else, but like, yeah, that's not a bad deal at all. Like, it's like, it sounds like you got an amazing job that you could be creative at. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad that I'm amazed how many people use the tracker. Like, that is a legitimately big community, and it's awesome. I'm so, like, 10 years ago, if you told me that there'd be a ton of people using hardware trackers, I'd be like, shut up. Because I think at that point, like, only the NerdSeek module or something was going out. I forgot what he does for Apple. I think like music software marketing or something. But, it's Apple. Like, I have a million problems with Apple, but as an employer, it's hard to do better. Like, they haven't had, I mean, yeah, it's like Apple has this weird, I don't know if it's pride or what it is, but they do everything they possibly can to avoid layoffs. And they do it very well. Like, when every other tech company is just, burning 30% of their staff, Apple somehow figures out a way to keep them on board and survive the gully. They did it in this last time. I predicted the other way. I thought they would have layoffs for the first time in a long time, but they kept everybody on. Yeah, I mean, Apple, they also have a lot of stock options for a lot of their positions. And then they have dividends. Do they? Do they have dividends? I think they have dividends for their stock options. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's a good life move. It's not bad. Yeah. And plus, and you know what? Honestly, if it was like some YouTuber that I didn't like or something, I would probably be a little bit different about it. But Enrique is such a nice guy. He's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. He's so genuine and so warm, and so I can't. I'm happy for him. I don't remember what it was. His last video, I think it's called "See You Later, Oscillator" or something. His last video, he talks about it. So, and I think that is his last video. He may have like a small one, but I think that's he's sort of announcing that he's winding his channel down to go spend his time doing that. So more power to him. Congratulations, Ricky. All right. Well, that was a fun stream. I don't know what I think of this. I like it. I think it's a keeper. I think once I figure everything out, it'll be a fun thing to hang out at the kitchen table with, or mostly to bring on trips, honestly, to bring on little trips, because that's always my issue, is I never have anything to sort of have ideas with, or like the iPad is as close as it gets, or the tracker, but the tracker is the tracker. It's like only good for like certain types of things. So this is kind of very portable, just slips in my bag, easy and fun. That's the whole point, right? All right. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Teenage Engineering, please don't copyright strike this. That would suck so much. I'm warming up to you so much. Don't be dicks. Thanks for watching, Mom and everybody else. And I should have a video out soon. I'm 3D animating the inside of the human ear down to the electron microscope level of things. So it's taken a minute, but and my eyes are burning. I'm about to go right back to it for another 4 to 6 hours. But it's fun. It's going to be a good video. It's going to be great. everybody's going to learn a lot about their own hearing, and everybody's going to want to get a hearing test, and they're going to know how to do it without getting scammed. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.